Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Customize with Aspen Discovery. My name is Jessica Zarrow, and here with me today is Bill Kessler, and we will be showing you some of the most amazing Aspen Discovery sites for the next 30 minutes and showing off how our libraries have customized their discovery interface. So when their users come to explore, they can find exactly what they're looking for. Bill will be monitoring chat, so if you have questions that come up at any point during this session today, we'll be able to answer those or jump in. Do not worry about writing every single URL down. We will follow up with an email and send you a list and a link to every one of these where we're going to talk about some different features that they have enabled within their site. So again, thanks for joining us today, and we are going to jump in now and some of these great sites that our libraries have set up. So the first one we are going to start with today is our library partners in Payson City, Utah. And this is their Aspen Discovery site. They are using Koha on the back end. And one of the things that we really love that Payson City has done is they have a little animation up top. So if you can see the little Santa and the little elf and the snowman is moving around, I'll do a quick refresh so you can see that again. And these are just some of the really cool features that you can implement for your library. So they're using a special header that allows them to kind of have this little GIF pop up and have little snow coming through and just a little customization in there. So this is a great way that a lot of our partners are essentially refreshing their site, whether it's for a holiday or a season that may come up. So just little things that your partners or your patrons will notice as you're coming through. This is Newcastle Library in the UK, and they are one of our community partners that are using Aspen Discovery. And Bill and I really got excited when we saw this one because we were like, how cool is it that they have the snow falling in their system? So again, this is another header that they had set up within the system to kind of customize that information. So you can see their logo is over here on the right-hand side, and that's a home button for them. But this is just a really cool way that you can keep up with the themes and just information that is going on within your library. And you can see they're tying in that color directly to that header up top. So tying those pieces together is a great way for your users to see that information. Our next library we have here is Huntsville-Madison County Public Library. And a big shout out to Bill. This is Bill's home library, so we always get excited when we get to show that off as well. They recently updated their site and moved from Koha's OPAC over to Aspen Discovery. And they are also utilizing that header space to really customize that information. So again, just small little refreshes like this that can be done through your Aspen administration as a way to update your header within the system. These are small steps to kind of start that customization. And at the end here, Bill and I are going to show you our amazing help center, which walks you through creating and uploading that header information. And as always, as part of our support, our fantastic Aspen Discovery team will also be able to bring that information and help you pull it in. The next one we are going to show off here is Jackson County Library Services. So again, in here you can see they do have a header that is pulled up. They also have a little bit of CSS that they are using with their browse categories. So if you come in here and look, you can see how their cover images kind of stand out and have a little bit of shadowing behind them. This is a great way that essentially when your users come in, they have that distinct look for their titles. So as we're browsing through these new items with fiction, you can see here just how those images look crisp. They stand out to the user, and when they come in here, they can click on that information and find it pretty easily. There's all different types of customization options that you have with these cover images. You'll notice some libraries will keep on the options to see the ratings. So sometimes you'll see little stars beneath cover images. And those are all little ways that you can customize that information right within the system. The next one we're going to take a look at today is Converse Free Library. And again, this is just another library, of course, where they have that heading in, and just some simple ways that they've come in and updated that information within the system. So we always like to show off our partner sites, and here's just another great example. We can see that hot cocoa with a nice book that a user could be sitting around and looking. So just really easy ways to set them up. Another thing I want to point out on the customization for this page is you'll notice in their menu bar, the little icons. This is a great way for you to add that information into your menu bar, so it's easy for them to identify things within the system. So we see that little museum pass, a little present for donate, the little computer for our URL links. And this is easy to set up and customize within Aspen Discovery Administration. And that allows you to customize both your menu links that will appear on your page, as well as the hamburger links over here on the right-hand side that you can customize for your users as well. And you can pull in these little icons, you can customize those. Those icons are free, and that's a cool way that you can get a visualization in there for that to stand out as well. The next example we're going to show off is Uinta County Library. Now, they're our partner in the state of Utah, and Uinta County Library is using their full website through Aspen Discovery. So they are using the web builder to highlight all of the amazing things that they have within their system. So if you come to uintalibrary.org, this entire website is built on Aspen Discovery. So let's start by taking a look at the main page here. As I'm scrolling through, you can see that they've brought in an image that's highlighting their digital library card. And of course, if I click on that, that'll take me in where I can register for a library card or sign up right within the system. I'm just going to hit my back button, go back to our main page here, and talk about some of the other features that you can use to customize your pages in Aspen. As I scroll down a little bit further, you'll be able to see upcoming events. With Aspen Discovery, you can integrate Library Market calendar, as well as SpringShare's LibCal to bring events into your discovery system. This is a nice way to show users any upcoming events that are happening. So here they've taken a collection spotlight. Collection spotlight is a way for you to customize either a category of titles or events, or we've even seen it for Library of Things, where you can show off a curated collection on your site to highlight that information. And in this case, we are highlighting the calendar information. As I scroll down a little bit further, we can see a link to an image for their holiday mysteries. And now we can see another collection spotlight for native stories and native ways. So again, this is a great way to customize your pages, whether it's highlighting databases or specific titles or movies that may be on trend. You can even embed videos within the web builder interface, and this is a great way that they can come in, watch a video or a link to a video right within the system. Our next example here is Salina Public Library. Now we're going to talk a little bit about custom CSS. CSS is a way for your staff members to essentially highlight certain features or make different colors or change fonts within your system. In this case, as we look at Salina Public Library here, you can see that the font, if we look at Salina's, versus if we come back here and we look at the font on Converse Free, is just a little bit different. These are all little tweaks that you can make within your system to make things stand out. You'll also notice how there's rounded corners here. That is another feature where you can customize information to make it stand out for your users. Salina Public Library has done an amazing job at kind of making that information stand out to their users so it's easy to identify when they're scrolling and looking throughout that particular system. I'm going to do a quick search in here, and we'll do a search for video games. Again, you'll notice that predictive text. And as we go into our next screen, you'll see some of those other CSS enhancements. So again, you'll see those rounded corners here throughout the boxes. As we scroll down, you'll see those rounded corners here. So these are all little tweaks that you can make through custom CSS within your system to really make things look clean and crisp within your interface. Again, these are all ways that we can work with you and the Aspen Discovery team. If you submit a ticket or if you see something you like, you can talk about it at the next Aspen gathering and share ideas of what other libraries are doing. Our next example here is Round Rock Public Library. And again, they are using some custom CSS to highlight that information within the system. So again, as we come in here, we can see those rounded corners. You'll see how the colors change as we go through those different browse categories. So again, as I highlight through, we have orange and blue, which ties into the Round Rock Public Library theme that they have set within the system. And again, this is nice as a way for the user to be able to identify what they're looking at. If we come into a browse category that has several subcategories, they can easily identify which subcategory they have landed on. And so that information stands out really nicely within their system. The next customization features that we'll take a look at is Darien Public Library. And Darien has done some really amazing things. The first one that we want to talk about is their note to shelf. And this is a really cool way that they've used lists to essentially highlight things within the system. And Bill and I always get so excited when we see this. You can see they've added a little box in here that kind of highlights what a particular title is about. So you can see that standing out with like a lighter blue interface in that box. And again, it's customizations, little things like this that you're going to draw the eye to your user when they view this information. You know, as we scroll through, we'll be able to see this for each one of the titles within that list. So this is a really nice customization that Darien Public Library has added to make it easily stand out. We can see the summary for this particular title, and it's just a really great way for that information. I'm going to go back up to the main page for Darien, and now we'll take a look at things. As I'm hovering over each one of my menu items, you can see that it changes into a little rainbow slider. So again, this is just a little custom CSS that makes it stand out. And I love it. It's just little tweaks like this that, you know, grab your eye, that you can see that information. So this is a really nice way to be able to see that. And then also be able to see and notice what you're grabbing directly. You'll also notice here, when we were looking at one of our previous libraries, we can see the shadowing behind these cover images. Again, just little pieces that make those particular titles stand out within the system.
And a little footnote on this, Darien was the ones that originally started the shadowing. And then after they did it, they shared it with us, and we were able to share it with the partners and released it in one of our most recent releases.
Awesome, right? The power of community, Bill. Awesome. All right, our next example we are going to show here is the Porter County Public Library System. And they are using a couple different things in here, but this is what we refer to as our resource list. So this is a nice way for you to kind of customize and highlight all of the subscriptions or databases that your library has. How many times have you purchased an amazing resource and it was hard to get those in front of your patrons, right? So we think about Aspen, number one way to get those resources in front of your patrons. Well, this resource list is a really great way for you to be able to highlight that information so you have a page that shows off all of that information. You can actually take it one step further and then break those down by category. So if I was coming in and I was really interested in, business, legal, or finance, I could come in here and see exactly which databases are available. And if your brain is already going a million miles a minute, when an individual searches, if this matches a search, it will also come up in that Explore More section. So again, now you've customized it to add in those resources, and now they're also seeing them in the Explore More section. So you're hitting multiple ways for your users to find information and customizing the look just for them. I really love just the basics of Porter County. I just really like how clean it is, the colors, they're bright, and then just bringing it in for the user. So they've done a really nice job of highlighting that. They even have little like emojicons that are tied into their browse categories, like they're really getting into the season. So just these little customizations like this make your patrons or customers like really feel at home. They make a connection to the library, and it's just a great way for you to be able to like make that connection with your user. Our next library here that we're going to show off is Okaloosa County Public Library Cooperative. They are up in the Panhandle of Florida, and they have some really neat features that we want to talk about. So the first one here is they've created a page for their career online high school graduates. This is a program that Okaloosa Library partners with to essentially help students get a high school diploma or GED. And so they've used the web builder page to create a little more information, how the student or the user can get started, what the career online high school offers, the experience, a way for contact, and you can see that they've even embed a little video over here. So again, if your library system uses the county for your website, or you don't have somebody on staff that's able to build a robust website, Web Builder is a great place to start, where even if you just want to create one page, you can customize that page for your users and get things started. I know, Bill, we can probably talk about all the different things we've seen. Some people use it for a blog, to bring that information in. Maybe it's a specific program that they offer or an event. It's just a really nice way for them to be able to come in and see that information. Now, with Web Builder, there's, basic and more advanced ways where you can just bring that information in. Again, we're going to show you here at the end our help center so you can see some of that information. But again, this is just a simple way to start that customization for your library and bring that in. Our next example here now, we're going to talk about kids catalogs. So if you want to highlight some of the resources for your younger users, this is a great way to highlight that information. So the first example we're going to look at here is McKinney Public Library. Now, if we look at the URL up here, what they've did is they've added KidsCat to their discovery. So if we go to mckinney.aspendiscovery.org, that takes them to the regular discovery layer. But what we're looking at here is their KidsCat. So this is a way for younger users to come in and first, of course, be able to browse by different categories. So what this is doing is this is just bringing in information for their younger users, juvenile children. And this gives them the opportunity to come in and browse. I love this, Texas 2x2s. So they have things that are specific just for their state. So parents or guardians can come in here and actually browse by that information. I'm getting ready to come in and look for things for the holidays. boom, we have a subcategory that's for holiday picture books. I think Browse Categories is one of the best ways that you can customize the interface and the experience for your users. It gives them an easy way to find things that they may not have discovered within a simple search or just browsing the shelves within the system. You can see up top that they've even used the menu to link out to events that are happening, games that are specific for their users, and then anyone who subscribes to Beanstack. This is a nice way to link out, and this highlights all of the information, again, through Web Builder, that highlights that particular information. I can say as a library patron myself, we use the 1000 books before kindergarten. So this is just a nice way that a parent, again, or a guardian can come in and see all of the options that are available. So Web Builder giving you that opportunity to customize things right within your Discovery interface. I'm going to do a quick little plug for statistics too here. So McKinney Public Library uses Metabase, which is a way to visualize data. And you can see here, they have a link that takes you out to statistics. And this actually highlights their public dashboard, which shows users within the system, borrowing information by collection type, and this can all be customized. So this was a nice way that they used their menu to highlight that information. Our next example here is Bennington Free Library. And so this is another example of what a children's catalog can look like. And Bill and I get excited about this one because here we see those traditional visuals, right? If you think back to like the early 2000s when kids' catalogs were starting to come out, we saw all of those same visuals, that a lot of them were using. And the nice thing with Aspen is you can really customize this however you want. Your reference librarians or your public service staff are going to know the best what people are coming in and asking for. So this is a way for you to customize that interface so your users can come in, they can select what they're looking for. Say we want to learn about airplanes. And when we click on that, that takes the user right in. Again, this is another customization where we can make those facets as easy as possible. So in a regular discovery layer, we might see like 15 or 20 facets. For the child, maybe we just see like 8 or 10 because we know the easy things that they need to narrow down that information, right? We want to come in, we're looking for a particular reading level, we can do that. You'll also notice how the colors distinguish between different formats, if they need a little more information, or they want to dive right into that book. So you can see clearly how the customizations that they have made for this interface are very easy for that child or that user to come in here and explore the system. Our last example here is coming back to Payson Library again. So we're starting with the first library we showed you an introduction to. Again, this is Payson City Library, and they also have a really unique kids corner, and they are using Aspen's Web Builder for this. So we can see a cute little moving animal down here. We have information about Cuddles. And then we can also see some collection spotlights that they've used to highlight their collection. We can see information here about some videos and any upcoming events that they have at the library. So again, if you're thinking about implementing Web Builder, or if you haven't tried it out yet, this is a great way to get your feet wet. You can try the basics of Aspen's Web Builder and really customize things for your user within the system. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to wrap things up with the Aspen Discovery Help Center. Now, this is a great resource that Cal and Morgan worked really hard on to get up and running. And this is a fantastic place where you can come in and kind of search for some of those customizations that we've created within the system and that we showed you today. So under this About drop-down menu, I want to highlight one here, and that's Partner Spotlight. So if you are looking for different ideas on how you can customize things within your system, this is a great place to start. So if you want some ideas for menu links, you can come down here, you can see what different libraries are doing, and this gives you a great place to check things out. Bill and I said 30 minutes. How are we going to get through 30 minutes of showing off all of the customizations that our library did? So this is a great place to come and kind of explore, deep dive, and find some great ideas out there. We didn't even go into all of the placards customizations today, but again, here are some great ideas where you can see just what libraries are doing and how they're highlighting things in their collection. Again, whether it's an event or a database within the system. Also up here, you'll see options for your users. So if you're thinking about turning things on, we mentioned ratings and reviews, showing on the first page with your browse categories, or even self-registration if you haven't used that before. Great place to look. Under our promote dropdown, we have options for your placards and those collection spotlights that we've talked about. So this will give you a great way that you can come in here. If you're thinking about creating one, this will walk you through creating it from a list or customizing those collection spotlights within the system. Again, just another great way to curate those titles or videos or DVDs, whatever you may want, right within the system. And then, of course, the last one here that we'll talk about is our web builder. We mentioned this quite a bit. This is a nice way to begin that customization process. So if you are just thinking about, creating a basic page, this will actually walk you through setting up just the basics within the system. If you want to link it out to a URL or create one in the system, you can do that. If you want to create a custom page, again, this just shows you the basics of setting it up. Embedding a video, images. If you want to, create a form for them to sign up, those are all things that you can do right within Aspen Discovery Web Builder.
So, Jesse, if I'm in the help center here, I can just type in something like header or something like that, and it searches for it, right?
Absolutely. So if we come in here and, I do a search for a custom page, it'll actually bring back the results. So just a huge perk of this being on the Help Center being in Aspen, you can search for anything that's created in there. And this will take you in, if I want to go into collection spotlights, boom, it'll take me in there where I can view that information. And then anything that will open, you can open those collapsible windows. If you wanted to share this with somebody, you can actually come over here, copy the link address, and then that'll take you right to that section of that page. So another nice way to share that information. Are there any other questions, Bill, that came up?
I don't see any. One thing that we might want to look at is if you go to administration and look at themes and how folks can customize their colors there. Most folks should have been in the training, but it was also nice to look at it one more time.
Yeah. So we're going to jump over to our model site. And if I click on that Aspen administration, this takes us into our administration portal. And if we come over here on our left-hand side under themes and layouts, this is a nice way where you can define those colors, change fonts, upload images, all within Aspen Discovery. So if we come in here, you can see we have quite a few different themes. If you're a single branch, you can create a theme or multiple themes for libraries that are part of a multi-branch system or consortium. Each of your individual libraries can have their own look and feel. And this is where you'll be able to come in, upload those headers that we were talking about. If you want to have a different header for your different season, this is the great place to start. You can also look at the accessibility of your site. Making sure it's accessible to your users, making sure your colors don't clash within the system. If you know your hex value or your RGB colors, you can actually come right in here and upload that. We talked a little bit about CSS. This is where you can actually come in and add that CSS within the system. So these are all fantastic places for you to start to begin that customization. Everything down to the little buttons, all of that can be customized.
I'd also suggest if you have any customization that you're doing and you have questions, if you go to our Slack channel, Partner libraries are posting different helps all the time. How can I do this? They will post code in there for you too, for custom style sheets. And if you get stuck in a spot, our team will always help. But you can also ask in the Slack channel to the partners.
Absolutely. If y'all are interested, our next upcoming webinars, we'll be talking about patron-driven experience in Aspen Discovery on January 26th. And then Morgan will be talking about archive and website integrations on February 13th. So those are our next upcoming webinars. And then if you have any questions or you want to set up a personalized demo, Bill would be happy to get you started. His contact information is up here. And we're really excited to show you Aspen.